I could read my husband's thoughts before we got married. Before the wedding, I suddenly gained the ability to hear thoughts. When will she take the initiative to kiss me? I subtly turned my head to look at the man reading a newspaper on the sofa and asked, "Did you just say something?" Ethan Song calmly flipped to the next page and replied, "Not at all." I bent down to search the refrigerator for my favorite strawberry ice cream. "She's really adorable," my face flushed. How dare he even think that? Annoying Ethan Song. Ethan Song irritably threw the newspaper down and walked straight into the bedroom. How should I arrange our wedding night? I must consider every detail carefully, and I was blushing furiously as if I'd been boiled. I snatched the ice cream carton in my hand and threw it straight at him. "Ethan Song, you are truly shameless." That day, I officially got married. The night before, I couldn't sleep a wink, not because of nervousness or overwhelming excitement, but because I had unexpectedly discovered I could hear my fiancée's thoughts. Why is her face so flushed? She's so beautiful. Hearing that, my face turned even redder. I couldn't understand what this man's mind was constantly preoccupied with all day. "Let's go." Wait, I still haven't found your wedding shoes." Ethan Song glanced around and immediately found the wedding shoes hidden under the bed. Then he gently took my foot and slipped the shoes on. Her feet are so small and soft, it feels so comfortable, I love it. I awkwardly tried to pull my foot back, but he firmly held it. "Can we go now?" "All right." Ethan Song gently lifted me into his arms. Finally, I've married the girl I secretly adore. Tonight, I must give her a truly happy and fulfilling wedding night. I looked up at him, utterly astonished. Didn't he have no feelings for me at all? My marriage to Ethan Song was purely an alliance of convenience between two prominent families. From the very beginning, I knew he didn't love me. He supposedly had a dream girl living abroad. But today, the things he was thinking made me begin to doubt everything I had believed to be true. "What are you thinking about?" Ethan Song deftly exchanged the wine glass in my hand for a glass of fruit juice and reminded me, "Drink less wine, okay? If you get drunk on our wedding night, it'll ruin all the fun." My face flushed and my heart pounded. "Ethan Song, why is your mind always preoccupied with such things? What did you say?" How could I possibly reveal that I could hear his inner thoughts? Oh, nothing. The wedding reception ended late into the night. I slowly helped Ethan Song, who had had a bit too much to drink, back to the bridal suite. Throughout the long journey, I kept wondering why I could no longer hear his secret thoughts. Ethan Song gently stroked my cheek and softly kissed my forehead. "Finally, she is mine." At that moment, I suddenly realized, so even mind-reading abilities discriminate. I curled up tightly on the sofa, clutching the thin blanket. Whoever wants to sleep on the bed can, but I certainly wouldn't dare. "On our wedding night, are you really going to let me sleep on the bed alone?" Ethan Song leaned against the headboard, pulling the blanket up to cover his sensitive body. "Right now, I'm really not feeling well. I clearly remember you had your period half a month ago." Ethan Song placed his hand on the edge of the blanket, tilting his head to look directly at me. "Or do you want me to carry you over here right now?" I hurriedly climbed onto the bed, shrinking back to the very edge, not daring to move even an inch. "Tonight is our wedding night." Ethan Song moved closer, his warm chest pressing against my back. "I can't hold back anymore, I just want to kiss her right now." He thought that, and then he acted exactly upon it. He kissed me until I was almost breathless, so I pushed his shoulder away. Ethan Song?" Ethan Song changed position, placing me face down on top of him. "Don't worry, just let me handle it." Just before losing consciousness, the last thing I heard in his mind was, "Knowing how to dance is quite interesting, isn't it? Her soft waist is so pliable." I softly whimpered like a kitten. "Ethan Song, you're truly awful." Her eyelashes are so long, her lips soft, her skin fair and smooth. There's truly nothing about her that I don't love. I waved my hand, frowning in annoyance. "So noisy, I want to die." The person next to me seemed to chuckle, then took my hand and tucked it into the blanket. "While she's sleeping, should I try one more time? Will it make her angry?" I was so startled that I immediately shot up. "She's awake." No phrase could have woken me up faster. "Are you awake already?" Ethan Song propped himself up on one arm, leaning over to look at me. "Why don't you try to sleep a little longer?" I clutched the edge of the blanket. No way I can sleep anymore." Ethan Song leaned down, his two free hands encircling me in his embrace. "Morning is the most beautiful time of the day, or should we just wait? You're going to be late for work." I chuckled dryly a few times. "As an owner, you should set an example." "Being late for work isn't a good look." Ethan Song nonchalantly said, I'm the boss. What's wrong with signing myself a few days off for our honeymoon? It sounded reasonable enough, so I couldn't escape my fate. The next time I woke up, the sun was high in the sky. Ethan Song was no longer lying next to me. I stroked my aching back, then washed my face and hurried straight to the kitchen to find food. Are you awake? Ethan Song, wearing a cartoon-patterned apron, placed food on the table and said, "Go wash your hands and get ready to eat." I looked at the table overflowing with delicious dishes and asked, "Did you make all of this?" Besides me, who else would? As he spoke, Ethan Song picked up a piece of braised meat for me to taste and said, "Just try it, the flavor is really quite amazing, isn't it?" I immediately obeyed, washed my hands, and sat at the table, patiently waiting for the meal. Suddenly, Ethan Song entered the room with a frown, and when he returned, he was holding something in his hand. He gripped my hand tightly and asked, "Why did you forget to wear this red string? From now on, never take it off again, okay?" This was the red string he had given me the year I had to take a break from high school due to illness. I had always worn it, never once taking it off. I gently smiled, feeling a corner of my heart suddenly warm. I understand. Ethan Song and I began our romantic honeymoon on a beautiful island. Due to prolonged sleep deprivation, as soon as I stepped onto the private plane, I immediately felt sleepy. "Ethan Song, can I just close my eyes for a bit?" Ethan Song looked at me intently as if he wanted to say something. She's deliberately trying to seduce me. I instantly became wide awake, sitting upright, reading a magazine, and saying, "No, I won't sleep anymore. Too much sleep isn't really good for health." Ethan Song slowly moved closer. She's trying to seduce me again. Unable to resist the overwhelming drowsiness, my head gradually slumped onto Ethan Song's shoulder. "Wake up, go to the bed, and sleep comfortably." I only let out a few mumbled sounds, not bothering to react. Ethan Song had no choice but to give in, gently carrying me to the bed and carefully tucking me in. I wonder what it would feel like to do it on a plane. I groggily opened my eyes, cupped his handsome face with both hands, squeezed lightly, and instructed, "Ethan Song, you absolutely must not play any nasty tricks, okay?" Ethan Song gently kissed my lips and replied, I know, go to sleep, I won't tease you anymore." I contentedly ruffled his hair, saying, "Good boy." I'm not a child at all, on the contrary, she's as obedient as a tiny bunny. I barely heard his next words. Ethan Song leaned down again, kissed my forehead, and whispered, "Sleep well, my little bunny." "Ethan Song, what's going on?" I put my hands on my hips, pointing with my other hand at the wide-open suitcase and loudly demanded, "Can you explain to me why all my swimsuits have vanished without a trace?" Ethan Song, with an expressionless face, uttered just 3 words, "I don't know." "You don't know?" I laughed in anger. "You were the last one to pack and lock that suitcase, and now you dare to say you don't know? They look so ugly." "Ugly where? They're all limited editions." "HMPH, don't even dream of letting others see them. You should only wear them for me." Suddenly, the flame of jealousy in my heart extinguished. Oh, so he was jealous? Well, that works too. Ethan Song took out a long dress and a sun-protective jacket, instructing, "Wear this one, okay? It's good for sun protection and looks beautiful." "This one's good, completely discreet. Only I have the right to admire my wife." All right, I'll wear this one." I quickly cut off his train of thought. Otherwise, it would surely turn into something adults say that isn't suitable for children to hear. Ethan Song and I walked hand in hand on the beach. "Are you tired?" Ethan Song gently wiped away a drop of sweat from my forehead and said, "Shall I carry you on my back?" Before I could finish saying, "I'm not," Ethan Song had already squatted down in front of me. "Come on, get on." I immediately climbed onto his back. He had a perfectly toned physique, broad shoulders, a slender waist, and long legs. I delightedly squeezed his bicep. Truly amazing. This is my man. It seems she really likes my muscles. I subtly looked up. Ethan Song was still intently looking straight ahead, not uttering a word. It was his inner voice again. Lately, I seem to be hearing these thoughts more often. The workouts certainly haven't been in vain. From now on, 4 sessions a week will be just right. Ethan Song supported my hips, helping me adjust my posture. "She's light as a feather," I pouted. "I'm not that light. Clearly, I've gained 2 whole kilos these past few days because of you." "Ethan Song," I gently pinched his ear and asked, "Do you think I'm heavy?" Ethan Song feigned annoyance and said, "Heavy as hell." "Liar, you can lift me with one hand." HMPH, what an arrogant guy. When will she finally call my name gently? I remained silent for a few seconds, then suddenly spoke. "Yee." Ethan Song unexpectedly stopped and asked, "What did you just call me?" "Ah, yee." He tried to suppress the slight trembling at the corners of his lips, his ear rims a little flushed, and said, "If you like calling me that, then feel free." Outwardly, he maintained a calm demeanor, but inside his heart was churning like a tsunami. Amazing, 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 I covered my ears. Oh, my ears are going to go deaf because of you? Aye, I want to buy ice cream. Ethan Song gently put me down, but his eyebrows furrowed slightly. Your health isn't good. Don't eat too many cold things. If you don't listen, I'll spank you. My face flushed. Instinctively, I put my hand behind me to cover my bottom. I'll only eat one, it's fine. You don't need to come with me, just wait here. I hurried to a small stall not far away, opened the freezer, and took out an ice cream bar. After a moment's thought, I also grabbed another ice cream for Ethan Song. Hey, beautiful girl. I turned my head to see a foreigner with blonde hair and blue eyes. He spoke Vietnamese with a slight accent. I'm lost, can you tell me the way back to the hotel? I nodded in confirmation and briefly gave him directions. However, he didn't seem to fully understand. Could you say that again? He smiled and asked. Pardon, let me help him. A hand unexpectedly rested on my shoulder. I was pulled into a familiar embrace. Ethan Song used English to give directions, even borrowing paper and a pen from the stall owner to draw a simple map. The foreigner repeatedly bowed in thanks, then offered blessings in Chinese. Thank you. Ethan Song squeezed my hand tightly, adding, My wife and I will be very happy. After the other person was out of sight, his expression immediately changed, looking as if someone owed him hundreds of millions of dong. Can you not talk to other men for so long? He irritably kicked at the sand at his feet, his tone a bit sulky. I'll feel uncomfortable. Ethan Song and I looked directly into each other's eyes. Did he just openly admit he was jealous? His face momentarily showed a hint of awkwardness. Damn it, I accidentally spoke my true feelings. I couldn't help but laugh at that expression. I know. As if showing off a trophy, I offered him the ice cream I had bought earlier. Please, have some ice cream to soothe your annoyance. Just one ice cream and you want to bribe me? Unless you agree tonight? I quickly shoved the ice cream into his mouth. Ha ha ha, it's so hot. Eat some ice cream to cool down. Ethan Song and I continued to stroll around the beach before returning to the hotel. Ethan Song, I took a cat ear headband from the side pocket of the suitcase and threw it at him. Explain to me what this is right now. Ethan Song lazily lifted his eyelids. Is there a problem? Weren't my hints clear enough? My face was burning, as if about to burst into flames. Go away. If you want to wear it yourself. Ethan Song tilted his head back and replied, Wear it myself, then wear it myself. He picked up the headband and actually put it on. I instinctively covered my nose. Luckily, it didn't bleed. He tried to suppress his laughter so hard that his shoulders shook uncontrollably. Inside, he was shouting at the top of his lungs. The plan was a complete success. I truly am a man full of schemes and cunning. After half a month of fun, Ethan Song and I finally boarded the plane to return home. He initially intended to take me home, but on the way, he received a phone call. The call was about a contract issue. The secretary didn't dare make a decision on their own and had to call him for direction. Did I hire these people to do nothing? Ethan Song frowned, rubbed his temples, and continued, Wait for me about 30 minutes, I'll be there. He thought to himself, I'll cut all of their bonuses. Who gave them permission to ruin my honeymoon? And he also stated directly, next month, bonuses will be cut by half. Unable to help myself, I spoke up in his defense. Don't be so rigid, Ayi. The honeymoon is over anyway, this won't have a big impact. All right, I'll listen to her then. He thought if my wife knew how to be a little more coquettish, nothing could be better. Ethan Song immediately covered the phone's microphone, glanced at me, and asked, Are you doubting my decision? I gently tugged his sleeve, shook it, and whispered, Please, honey. Ethan Song rolled his eyes away, but the shouting in his mind almost made my eardrums burst. He's trying to stay calm, pretending to be nonchalant. He said to the person on the other end of the line, When I arrive, immediately organize an emergency meeting. If the project is completed, you'll be rewarded double. New Year's coming, New Year's coming, New Year's coming. I continuously rubbed my ears. All right, as long as you're happy. If only Lucy Liu hadn't been there. Perhaps I would have completely forgotten that a deep, unbridgeable gap still existed between Ethan Song and me. He and I had been close friends since childhood. Our relationship was extremely close. I had always believed that I was special, an exception in his heart. It wasn't until my 11th year of school that I was forced to drop out due to health issues. From then on, a very close companion suddenly appeared by Ethan Song's side, Lucy Liu. Even though I was no longer in school, I still frequently heard news about him through friends. Whenever someone mentioned him, Lucy Liu's name would inevitably be linked. Everyone said that he and she were always inseparable, like shadow and form. They also mentioned that the two were a perfect match. Rumors even circulated that they both got into the same university. I didn't have the courage to ask him. I was afraid of facing unwelcome, harsh truths. Even our friendship would be hard to maintain. Perhaps it was better to leave things as they were. "Are you not going to invite me in?" Lucy Liu's voice startled me from my drifting memories. "Please come in." I stepped aside and told the maid to prepare tea. "Are you here to see Ethan Song?" "He's not home." Lucy Liu gently shook her head. "I came here to see you." I was utterly surprised. "Me?" Lucy Liu pulled out a handbook, handed it to me, and said, "I just returned from a medical mission abroad. This is a hospital I researched thoroughly and found to be quite reputable. I hope you'll consider going there for treatment." I flipped through each page of the document in my hand. To be honest, my mind was fiercely swaying at that moment. But then I wondered, why are you helping me? To be precise, shouldn't we consider ourselves rivals? Lucy Liu was also stunned. "Ethan Song hasn't told you yet." A huge, imaginary question mark appeared in my head. "Told me what? He's really good at keeping secrets." Lucy Liu subtly smiled and winked at me. "Everything was arranged by him through me." "Oh, everything was orchestrated by him." Lucy Liu handed me a bottle of medicine. "This is also a new medication he asked me to bring back for you. I hope you'll consider my advice. Although there are potential risks, the chances of success are relatively high." She then placed a thick envelope on the table. "When you two held your wedding, I couldn't be there, so this is a belated wedding gift. I'm truly grateful to you." Lucy Liu placed her hand on mine. "Ethan Song is truly devoted. I hope you'll enjoy a fulfilling life with him." I recounted to Ethan Song how Lucy Liu had visited that day. I understand." I hugged his vest and handed him the envelope Lucy Liu had left, saying, "She even sent wedding money. If she gave it, just take it." He immediately opened the red envelope to check. "Only this much money? She's truly stingy. When we have kids later, I'll definitely extort more from her." I couldn't suppress my laughter. Honestly, the stingiest one is actually the CEO. Ethan Song picked up the hospital brochure, carefully asking for my opinion. "Do you want to go there? What about you? Do you want me to go there?" Ethan Song remained silent for a moment, then subtly nodded. "All right, go ahead." He hugged me tightly from behind and said, "I want to be with you forever. There won't be any risks." Ethan Song suddenly panicked. "I forbid you from uttering those words." "All right, I won't say it again. Go get treated." Ethan Song buried his face in the crook of my neck. I suddenly felt his shoulder unusually damp. "Is he crying? Don't even think about what-if scenarios. I'll always be by your side. We'll grow old together until our hair turns white." My heart suddenly melted. "All right, we'll walk all of life's paths together." Ethan Song mentioned his intention to invite Lucy Liu to dinner. "Yes, you should do that," I confirmed. "So, when do you plan to go?" Ethan Song furrowed his brows. What do her words mean? Doesn't she want to come with me? Is she really going to calmly let me have a private meal with another woman? "It's fine if you go by yourself." Ethan Song slumped onto the sofa, his face sullen and annoyed. His thoughts continuously echoed in my ears. "She's calmly letting me go eat alone with another girl. How can she be so at ease letting me have a private meal with another woman? Is she really not worried at all if I go on a date with a woman who isn't her?" My head was spinning. Is this a repeater or what? I sat down next to him. "You're already close with Lucy Liu, and I haven't really got to know her well yet. Just meet a few more times, and you'll be close right away." Ethan Song pointed at himself, then at me. "When I said invite her for dinner, it was an invitation from both of us as husband and wife. If you don't agree, I'll throw a tantrum right away. I'll lie on the floor and wail to see what you'll do." Honestly, I was a little curious to see Ethan Song rolling on the floor, throwing a tantrum, but it didn't seem quite convenient yet, so I feigned confusion. Ethan Song frowned, staring intently at the floor, clearly calculating if the tantrum was feasible. He stood up and walked around a few times, but in the end, he still couldn't bring himself to lie down and wail. He simply turned his back to me. "She doesn't care about me at all. She truly doesn't love me one bit." "How could I not love you?" I wrapped my arms around his neck. "Can I come with you?" Ethan Song snorted softly, a hint of smugness in his voice. All right then." My wife is the best. My wife gently kisses me. My wife softly hugs me. I unconsciously blurted out, "You're truly a doting husband." Ethan Song paused for a moment, then turned completely around and hugged me tightly, saying, "I've always been this way." Ethan Song and I took Lucy Liu to the city's most renowned hot pot restaurant. Taking her to eat hot pot, does that seem a bit inappropriate? A CEO, when treating someone, should choose a five-star restaurant, shouldn't he? Ethan Song draped his jacket over my shoulders and said, "It's fine, she likes this dish. It's getting dark, put this on so you don't get cold." Is there something wrong? This hot pot tastes amazing. Do I have to admit that I'm the one craving hot pot? I suddenly couldn't help but burst into laughter. "What are you laughing about? I think you're adorable." Ethan Song's face immediately flushed. Hurry up, it's almost late." Sometimes I really wondered if Lucy Liu was truly Ethan Song's innocent first love, or if they had once been truly close. For example, right now, apart from formal greetings, the two of them had nothing to talk about. On the contrary, Lucy Liu confided in me with great understanding. "Drink some water so your throat doesn't get dry." Ethan Song brought me a glass of ice-cold herbal tea. How incredibly annoying. Doesn't she have a boyfriend? Why does she insist on pulling me, his wife, out for idle chatter like this? I secretly glanced at him a few more times. Ethan Song used shared chopsticks to pick up food. "This dish my wife loves, put it in her part of the pot. This dish I love, don't touch it, it's mine. This dish is terrible, my wife doesn't like it, push it to her pot." Lucy Liu asked me, "Have you made a decision yet?" "Yes, it's done." I nodded gently and said, "I'll proceed with the treatment." "Thank you so much." "That's wonderful news." Lucy Liu smiled softly, seemingly recalling something. "You truly can't imagine how much he loves you. Back in school, he cough. Ethan Song cleared his throat twice, then added more food to my bowl and said, "Eat, don't talk anymore." She almost exposed all of my dark past. A husband's love should be confessed by himself, that's how it should be. I looked up and met his gaze. In his eyes, only my image existed. I clearly heard his inner voice resonate, "I love you." I decided I needed to have a serious talk with Ethan Song. I had a feeling there was still something unresolved between us. "Ah Yi," I sat directly opposite him. "I have something I want to ask you." "Go ahead," Ethan Song replied very calmly. Why is she so serious? So tense, extremely tense. Is my hair messy? Did I look annoyed just now? The atmosphere is so heavy, suffocating. Not only was he worried, I wasn't doing any better. "Do you have feelings for Lucy Liu?" Remained silent. After a long moment, he finally reacted with a "what?" Then he abruptly stood up, an irritated expression on his face, and began pacing incessantly right in front of me. Damn it, who dared to make up stories about me like this? In high school, everyone was saying that I gripped the hem of my shirt tightly. "People said you and Lucy Liu were a couple." "It's over, time to reveal the truth. If I don't tell her everything, I might lose my life partner." "Not at all," he said, deep in thought. "Lucy Liu and I are simply friends. The reason I was close to her was because, he reached up to gently scratch the back of his neck, secretly observing my expression. "It was because of you," I pointed to myself. "Me. Her family works in the medical field. Both her parents are brilliant doctors. I wanted to ask them to find a treatment method for you." "So what about the rumor that you two both got into the same university? What kind of nonsense is that? Who spread such absurd rumors?" Ethan Song was annoyed. "That university is renowned for its medical program, so I applied. Lucy Liu studied that field to continue her family's tradition. Later, I changed my major. It had nothing to do with her anymore." "So that's how it is. Then what was the reason you changed your major?" When this was mentioned, Ethan Song's face showed a hint of distress. "Wasn't it also because of you?" I blinked slightly. "What now, something else related to me?" Ethan Song covered his mouth with his hand, giving a slight cough. "The day you were discharged from the hospital, I planned to confess. I once asked you what kind of guy you liked, didn't I?" "Ah, right, I vaguely remembered that day." Because on that day, Ethan Song was dressed very formally, holding a large bouquet of roses. It seemed that in that moment, I was exactly. Due to the rumors about him and Lucy Liu, I had thought they were truly in love. So I deliberately described a type of person completely opposite to him. A cold, rigid man, a powerful and extremely talented CEO. That day, Ethan Song was lost in thought for a long time, finally only uttering 4 words. "I understand now." It turned out this was just a disastrous misunderstanding between 2 foolish people secretly in love, but neither had the courage to confess first. I covered my mouth, giggling, my shoulders shaking slightly from trying to suppress my laughter. "How dare you laugh?" Ethan Song lunged straight at me. "How could you know how much I had to suffer acting?" He was right. A radiant, vibrant young man like him, just for me, had to suppress his true self and play the role of a cold, dignified CEO. Honey, I've poured out all my feelings to you now. Ethan's song rested his head on my shoulder, his warm breath softly caressing my neck. So what about you? Who do you truly love? I gently lifted his face, my eyes gazing tenderly into his, and said, It's you. Seeing the astonishment on his face, I found him even more adorable. It's always been you. At that time, because I thought you and Lucy were a couple, I reluctantly lied. Ethan Song's face flushed red as he asked, Are you not teasing me? What would I gain from lying to you? I sighed in relief. If only one of us had spoken up back then, how much better things would have been. Don't say that anymore. You're the type to keep things to yourself. You won't reveal anything when asked. What about you? A cold exterior with a warm heart. Ethan Song said nothing, simply tightening his grip on my hand. Our 10 fingers intertwined. I wish we had fallen in love sooner. I sighed again. Even though we didn't get together soon enough, Ethan's song leaned in and gently kissed my cheek. But we've always been by each other's side. I giggled. That's true, we've always accompanied each other, even if not officially as a couple. I chose to proceed with the surgery at the hospital Lucy Liu recommended. Don't panic, I'll always be by your side. There's nothing to worry about. We will definitely return safely. The doctors and nurses at that hospital must be very skilled, right? As soon as the plane took off, Ethan Song squeezed my hand and continuously chattered. In the end, it was I, the patient, who had to reassure him. It's okay, don't be so stressed. Who dares say I'm stressed? Ethan Song bristled like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. HMPH, I'm not talking to you anymore. He covered my ears, his lips moving slightly, seemingly whispering something. It was strange. Ever since we confessed our feelings to each other, I could no longer hear his secret thoughts. What did you just say? I gently tugged his sleeve. Absolutely not telling you. Ethan Song smiled mischievously. I'll tell you after you safely come out of the operating room. All right, he didn't say, but I could guess. It must have all been blessings for my safety. Ethan Song had reserved a private hospital room for me and personally took on all my care from beginning to end. Seeing him so busy and worried, my heart ached. Perhaps we should hire someone to help with the care. You really don't need to. Ethan Song wiped away a bead of sweat on his forehead, firmly saying, I don't want to entrust your care to anyone else. I quickly pulled out a tissue, gently wiped away his sweat, then placed a kiss on his cheek. You've worked so hard, my dear husband. Say it again. Do you think I'm dreaming? He wasn't upset at all. He just trailed behind me, incessantly pleading. My beloved baby, my dear wife, call me that one more time. No way. No matter how hard he tried to persuade me, I steadfastly refused to say it again. Ethan Song, when I'm safely out of the operating room, however many times you want to hear me say it, I'll be more than willing to respond. By then, don't you dare say I'm bothering you, because it'll be precious. Ethan Song had leveraged some connections, which quickly led to a successful scheduling of my surgery. The night before the major operation, he held me tight and whispered everything, as if wanting to condense all the deepest words of love in his life into that single night. Don't be scared at all. He placed a kiss on the top of my head, reassuring me, I'll always be outside waiting for you to come out. Yes, I know. I squeezed his hand tightly, gently saying, You shouldn't worry too much either. Ethan Song gently stroked my fingers, then traced the red string tied around my wrist and said, This string will protect you on my behalf. Which temple did you get this string from? When I'm discharged, I also want to get one just like it. Ethan Song remained silent for a moment, then chuckled softly and said, I'm afraid you can't. I asked, looking confused. Why not? Because this red string is the only, unique one in the world. Ethan Song's gaze drifted toward the window, as if reminiscing about something from the past. Back then, I devoutly knelt down, taking 3 steps and 1 kowtow, repeatedly bowing my head as I entered the main hall of the temple to pray for this red string. I was completely stunned. So, hidden behind this tiny red string was such a long and meaningful story. That year, when you fell ill, I initially thought it was just a common cold, but then your condition not only didn't improve but worsened severely. I was incredibly scared. I tirelessly visited temples all over the city, finally finding a monastery said to be the most sacred. There, I knelt for 24 continuous hours, then braided my hair with a red string to ward off bad luck for you. I was also afraid that the Buddha would fault me for lacking sincerity, so I observed a strict vegetarian diet for a whole year, donated money to help the poor in mountainous regions, and participated in volunteer activities, all just to pray for your safety. As soon as he finished speaking, Ethan's song choked up with sobs. Fortunately, I'm so glad you finally recovered. I settled onto his lap, placing a soft kiss on the tears streaming down his face. Thank you, Ah Yi, I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, so I promise you this, okay? Ethan's song tightly embraced my waist. This time you must also come out safe and sound, all right? I stopped his words with my lips. I will. Good night, Ethan's song. Tonight we're together. The surgery lasted over 6 hours. Fortunately, I finally emerged safely from the operating room. At that moment, Ethan Song's legs turned to jelly. He collapsed to the ground, no one able to catch him. He squeezed my hand tightly, tears flowing incessantly. So lucky, so lucky. I forced a smile, subtly moving my lips. Ethan Song, what were those words you finally said on the plane? I said. Ethan Song gently kissed the back of my hand. I just wish my wife would live a lifetime free from illness and pain. How truly miraculous. Now I truly no longer had any sickness or pain. I intertwined my fingers with his, 10 fingers tightly bound. Thank you, my dear husband. Under the dazzling sunlight, the rings on our hands sparkled, as if testifying to our overflowing love. I love you so much. I heard the words from the bottom of Ethan Song's heart, and I too wanted to exclaim, I love you very much too. Epilogue, self-correction statement by Ethan Song *. I, Ethan Song, hereby declare that on October 10, 2022, I went to the kindergarten to pick up my son, Mulan Song. Due to excessive haste and a lack of meticulous checking, I caused an incident where the child had not yet gotten into the car, but I had already driven home. The serious consequence was that little Mulan Song had to wait outside the school gate, exposed to the cold wind, for 3 hours. I have profoundly recognized my mistake, am extremely remorseful, have seriously reflected on myself, and pledge not to let this happen again. I humbly implore the Supreme Leader, none other than my beautiful, generous, wise, and virtuous wife, Chin Meng, to overlook my mistake and grant me an opportunity to rectify it. Therefore, my dear beloved wife, may I please be allowed to sleep in the room tonight? It's terribly cold out here.